This conference will now be recorded. Hi, and welcome to a presentation from the St. Raymond Nonnatus Foundation for Freedom, Family, and Faith. My name is Ann DeSantis. I'm the director of the foundation. You can find us at nonnatus.org. We are headquartered in the Philadelphia area, and we do family ministry. So today I'm really pleased that I have with me Mr. Jack Horchar. He's from the Montgomery County area, Horsham, PA, and he has a business called Life, L-I-F-E. His website is winatlife.mainhomepage.com. And so today Jack is going to talk to us about what he does, but also just giving us some tips for dealing with situations for families in crisis. We deal with a lot of people who are families that have going through difficult times, people who are separated, divorced, or annulled, and also have to also think about things to do with their finances and just, starting over again in some ways. So Jack, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Ann. Nice to be here.
Thanks. And I wondered if you could just start out by telling us just about, you and your wife and anything that you want to share with us about your family and your business.
Sure. My wife and I will be married 24 years in Labor Day. So we're 23 and a half right now. But we were older, almost 40 when we met and got married. So we're both single at the time, both never married. It was kind of a unique situation. But we both also came from broken families, raised by single moms. She has two sisters, so it was three girls with her mom, and then I have a sister, so my mother raised two of us. I think I was problem enough for two kids, so it might have been 3 and 3 if you look at that. So I kind of lived through some of that. Now, my parents split when I was 3. I don't remember a whole lot in the early years, but I do remember coming home from school, checking the mailbox. Did the support check come in? And yes or no, and have to. So I remember some of the tensions financially in the house, and there wasn't a lot of help from my father growing up. My mother did her best. She put the two of us through school, and I got 8 years of parochial school. My sister got 10 just when we moved. I started in 5th grade, and she's a couple years younger than me. So I mean, she put us through parochial school. We had 3 meals, roof over our head, clothes on our back, and we didn't know any different, But mom, she never owned anything. She rented a house. She never learned to drive. She told the story that every time she took out a permit before I was born, she got pregnant, so she stopped taking out permits. But so she never owned a car. She never owned a house. She never really had anything. But we made it, and but I look back as I got involved with the Life organization, and I'm a retired carpenter, self-employed for a lot of years. But I look back and go, she never really had a vision bigger than where she was at. Now, maybe because it was the 50s and the 60s and the early 70s, times were different. But her life was to get by day to day. And I think she missed out on a lot of things by not setting higher goals for her and us. And I'm not blaming. I'm just looking back and reflecting. And also, she lived paycheck to paycheck. I remember, especially as I got older, I could see her struggling financially. And there's only so much you can do when you're a kid, even in high school. I mean, we tried. I won't go down that path, but knowing your finances and keep getting a handle on where they're at and being smart with your spending and smart with money applications can be a huge stress reliever, because one of the biggest things, problems that we've seen in our organization and talking and listening to my mentors and speak, money is one of the biggest stress relators that cause breakups in families.
That's true.
And you're not both on the same page, and that's you both got to be on the same page. But that being said, let's start with a couple little points. I talked about my mother not having a vision or a direction for a future. Where do you want to go now that if you're starting over, you've gone through some rough times, or you're going through rough times? where do you want to be in 2 years or 5 years or even 6 months? Shorten it down. We talk about vision. We talk about goal setting. Break it down and sit down and try and get some coaching and counseling from someone that can help you map out a future, direction for your kids, direction for you, whether it's education. You got to map it out and shoot high. Don't shoot low and hit it. Shoot high and miss and improve yourself. But start to set little steps moving in a good direction. Counseling is a big thing. The next thing is getting your finances in order, and that's going to start with if you're now a single parent, you're probably down to one income, maybe no income, and you need assistance. We were there. My mother was on assistance when we were preschool, and I heard the stories. But she picked herself up and she got back to work once we were of school age. But you've got to figure out what your monthly expenses are, jot them all down, figure out what your spending is, figure out what your income is, and then you can determine, okay, do I have more income than expenses? Great. If I have less income, now what do we do to help you supplement your income? But again, counseling is going to be a big thing. So I'll go to the spiritual thing is maybe someone at church can help. Talk to your pastor. Get some professional guidance that way. But you've got to get a handle on all of us, whether we're going through troubles or not. If we don't know where our money's at, we're in big trouble and we don't even realize it. And eventually it'll come up and bite us quickly. And
that's true.
Can cause more and more stress for everybody down the road. But get the finances in order. Put that in a direction with where you see yourself, where you'd like to go. Is it a new path? Is it a new career path? Okay, what type of training or education do I have to go after? What do I need to get my kids into a particular school? Maybe I need help with the children. Again, I don't know. That's what you have to sit down with a coach and map out. But the more you detail out, starting and being honest from where you're at and setting a picture and a vision for where you want to go, the easier it is it's going to be to move on. Because now you know where you're going. Otherwise, we're just driving around aimlessly, like my mother for many years, decades, just going paycheck to paycheck. And that is not a fun place to be. And as she got older, I saw the stress. It's a shame. It's almost, I don't want to say a wasted life, but there could have been a whole lot more benefits in her life before she passed. It creates emotional stress, even when we were adults, between her and us as we grew up. But one of the big things in our business is we talk about read, listen, and associate. The association would be professional guidance. Get around support groups. Look for someone that can help you move forward. You've got to get away from the negative environment. I joke and say I was an amateur trumpet player for many years, and when I wanted to get better on that instrument, I didn't go look up a bass drum player. I looked up professionals, or I looked up people that were in the area I wanted to improve in. The same with carpentry. So get around, even if it's just people that have strong families. Don't look at it as I could never do that. Look at it as I want to achieve that.
Yeah, so that's good.
We've got to go after that. Then start reading some good books. We've got a whole financial package, program, books and audios, and get some information along those areas. Get some information on maybe spiritual. The pastor will recommend some good books. We have some books in our program that might be good for families. Okay, now I'm a single parent. How do I deal with raising kids, or maybe the marriage isn't completely broken. Well, how do I heal it? And family books. And get audios. Get away from the media. I guess the media is about as negative as anything can be today. And if I've had friends over the years, when I had ideas and they started going, you don't want to go that way. Nah. but I felt drawn in a certain direction, as long as it was legal. I kind of put them on the shelf, and I had to go after what I had to go after. And when you start to do that, you'll eventually start to find people. People will open up, doors will open up in the right direction, but you've got to take the steps and you've got to be proactive. But it's all going to start with, where do you want to go? And where do you see your future ending up? And then we can break that down in the long-term goals, short-term goals, next steps. And then when you hit the one goal, start shooting for the next goal. But that's kind of general with what we get into with the Life organization. I mean, we're an education information company. We produce a lot of materials in various areas for personal development, financial development, leadership, and most of our materials available through a subscription. So I'm putting a sales plug, but I'm not putting a sales plug because if I can help anyone with our material or some of the information, I'd welcome to talk. But again, I'm a carpenter by trade, so spiritual guidance wouldn't be my hot button. Definitely, I would refer to people that are professionals in those areas. But I got involved with a higher learning, so to speak, or I guess we call it continuing education. And I'm having more fun in my early 60s, fun and enjoyment teaching what I've been learning on a personal level. So sorry about that. Being able to help and give back. And we do this in a couple of different organizations in the city, just more back to work thinking, which comes into, what do I do to increase my income if my income is less than my expenses? So don't let the whole picture overwhelm you. As I've been told by my coaches and things, take one point, focus on that point, work on that one point, and then move to the next step. If you start to look at where things could be or what ifs, they'll drive you crazy. And I think my mother did it. Yeah, I think my mother did that for a lot of years. If we were only still married, we'd be married 40, he's been gone 35 years. Don't worry about what could have been.
Right.
You got grandchildren coming along. That was through my sister. Well, my wife and I don't have kids. Enjoy what you have and move forward. So
excellent advice.
And
I just want to say to our viewers that you and I met at the Catholic Men's Conference called Man Up in the Philadelphia area. So if any of our viewers are watching and they're not from the Philadelphia area, they can still contact you, correct? I mean, even if they're not from Eastern Montgomery County, you can find Jack's information at winatlife.mainhomepage.com. His email address is jackhorchar@gmail.com. That's Jack, HORCHAR@gmail.com. The reason I invited Jack for this presentation is because he definitely had so much to offer in terms of everything that he just talked to you about, which is not only financial help, but also just really organizing your life in a more positive way for the future. And also, just to live that more, positive, having that positive outlook on things so that for your future, because, we never do know what's going to happen in the future, and we entrust it to God. So, Jack, before we end, I was wondering if there's anything else that you wanted to mention to anyone watching.
Well, you just mentioned something about, being positive with information. And mm-hmm. I'm going through a program with my wife now. Every day we watch a challenge, kind of a leadership type thing. But yesterday it talked about positive versus negative. And if we don't feed the positive, and that's got to be an active step, if we don't feed the positive, the negative will automatically happen. So we're either growing or failing. So we've got to go after the good, or the not so good will just come in by nature. So you've got to go after it every day.
That's right.
And
It's so important. And our organization will keep you in our prayers. We are so thankful because, as I said, the St. Raymond Nonnatus Foundation does help families in crisis. And our initial mission are to families and individuals affected by divorce and separation and annulments. We are a Catholic foundation. So I thank you so much, Jack, you and your wife, and for this time. And and would invite anyone watching also to become friends with us. We are at nonnatus.org, Nonnatus. We're on social media at Philly Nonnatus, and you can reach me at my email address at director.srnf@gmail.com. My cell number, if you have any questions or want to text me a question, is 215-870-9913. So Jack, I want to thank you again from the St. Raymond Nonnatus Foundation, and I wish you a great day. And I would also wish you to please come back again, and we can do maybe a part 2 of this talk. So
I look forward to it.
Okay, God bless everyone.
Thank you, Ann. Have a great day.